Hello, everyone. This is High Priestess Jamila. I am sort of getting my voice back slowly but surely. I wanted to come and do a quick movie review, is what I wanted to do. And I think I'm going to go in my living room where it's a little bit more quiet because it's kind of loud in here. You can hear the traffic. You can, no, hold on, y'all. Oh my God. Okay, thank God that just like literally, I got so lucky, y'all. Have y'all ever had like little stuff happen? Like for example, my charging cord like falling in some liquid, but it didn't actually touch the liquid. So it's all good. So I watched Bad Boys for Life last night, and I wanted to come and do a movie review, but I also want to discuss some concerns that I had about the movie. People, first of all, I have a real problem with the way that witches and witchcraft is being portrayed in movies. Okay, I'm not even going to lie to you. And I was actually pretty shocked when I looked at that movie and I could see the obvious hatred. I wanted to talk about it. So first of all, let's talk about the movie. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I've always been a Will Smith fan. I've always been a fan of Martin Lawrence. I've always been a fan of the Bad Boys movie trilogy sequel type of thing. And I think last year when Bad Boys for Life came out, I think I was either like dealing with a landlord or something, which uh, I was dealing with a crazy landlord and I just didn't really have time to watch it. But I've got Stars now, and if you want to watch it, you can go and look at Bad Boys for Life on Stars if you haven't seen it. Just to let you guys know, this is a spoiler alert. I guess I should have somewhere put that in the title. So the movie was actually really good. It was a lot of unexpected stuff to happen. Like, I don't want to ruin it for people. Because like when I watched it, I was just like, oh my God, like, oh my God. It had me on the edge of my seat, like the whole movie, just a very good movie. Martin Lawrence was amazing. He was funny. Will Smith was still Will Smith. He was a little bit more darker in this one. Like the role of Mike Lowry, like he had never been so dark. Like it was kind of weird. Like I'm actually watch it again today when I get back from the store. So the only thing that I did not like was the ignorance when it came to witches. And obviously, whoever made that movie, like the makers, hey sissy, hey, good morning. Evidently, the people that made that movie did not like witches. Evidently, like it was just way too much dramatic, like very like even at the end of the movie when they kill the witch, and you guys will know what we're talking about, like literally they throw her off of a cliff down into a blazing, like, and she was very powerful, like, and she had some really tight like mafia connection. This one had more of the Latino community in it because even the woman that Mike Lowry was dating was a Latina woman. And Martin Lawrence was still with the same woman, which is, I can't think of the actress's name that plays Martin Lawrence's wife. But it's a very good movie. But in the movie, like they literally obviously have a problem with witches, like it, because they're actually discussing the witch and they're actually discussing the work that she does. They're actually discussing the dark magic that this witch was doing in the movie, right? Okay. And so first of all, there's a point in the movie where Will Smith tells Martin Lawrence the story of what happens. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it for too many people. And he's talking to him about witchcraft, and he's talking to him about the woman that is getting this revenge on him because there was a woman in the movie. Will Smith's enemy is a witch in the movie. Actually, it's very interesting. And so he's talking to Martin Lawrence about her being a witch and about her being into some dark shit. And he brings up Santa Muerta. Santa Muerta, it's actually the way I pronounce it is Santa Muerta. Okay. Santa Muerta is a deity. And I think that movies need to be careful with doing this because they actually, like, if you're going to talk about deities in these movies, it's probably best to make up a name, a fictitious name for a deity, because they brought up Santa Muerta as if she was like some evil, horrible person. And that is not what she is. Santa Muerta gives protection to everybody. She is a Spanish deity. She gives protection to everybody. She also is a healer. She also helps souls go into transition when they die. So she's like the angel of death in the Spanish community. If I'm not correct, I'm sure that she's so much more to so many other people. But I think that she can also be used for transformation. Okay, because when it comes to death, death doesn't always have to come in the physical. In fact, death is always happening around us. Death is always happening within us. Change is always happening within us. So death is change, death is transition. And, they even bring up this deity in the movie, and they're talking like this deity is evil. And that deity is not evil. Okay, first of all, witches did not invent death. We didn't invent death. Okay, in fact, some witches don't even believe in death. Some witches believe that they live forever. They feel that they have this immortality because they feel a strong connection to the earth and to people, and to the point where they feel that they've always been here. I know that for some reason, as a witch, I feel like I've always been here. Like I have walked this earth in a lot of different forms and as a lot of different people, which is why witches believe in past lives. They believe in karma. They believe in a lot of different things. Some of us do. Everybody don't believe in karma. So, to me, it seemed like to me that, maybe whoever made this movie, they were speaking at it from their perspective. And evidently, there was a lot of pain involved with as far as with dealing with witches. And this is one of the reasons why I'm careful about some of the things that I say. You know what I'm saying? These days, because people will relate certain stuff. So what I can sense is that whoever made this movie, they must have lost either a parent or a child, and they blamed witchcraft on it. Okay. Um, so that's what I'm gathering, because hello, Michelle Wright. That's what I'm gathering. I am gathering that evidently there must be some sort of trauma, and it's related to witchcraft. Like, for example, like if people have a beef with a witch and bad things start happening to them in their lives, instead of them blaming it on wherever the ignorance and the beef came from, they blame it completely on the witch. Okay, instead of them blaming the issue on what it actually is, they blame it on the witch. They do. They blame us for everything. And you know what? I'm a witch, and they've been trained not to listen to us for real, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I have people out there in the world that hate my damn guts, and literally, first of all, I don't even talk to them or talk about them. But they seem to hate what people hate what they are ignorant about. And people tend to hate what they're scared of. Yeah, death is many things, Outer Banks, which death to me is a many things, and it's not to be taken lightly, but it's almost like society needs to learn to have a better understanding and empathy. First of all, for them to feature two black men in a movie that's so against witches is insane, because witchcraft is what freed black people from slavery. It was witchcraft that freed blacks from slavery. Okay, unrefutable fact that it was witchcraft. Okay, I've heard rumors of even one of the biggest monikers of black freedom, a black freedom fighter is oh my goodness, y'all, my memory has just gotten so horrible. I don't know how I can't remember that lady's name. It's the lady that freed a bunch of slaves. She's very famous. They made a movie about her recently. If you look at the pictures of her, she looks like a witch. She does. Just looking at her, she don't look like you can tell because of the way that she looks. Something very, very mysterious about her. I don't know why I can't think of that lady's name. Good Lord, can somebody remind me in the chat, please? Please, please, please. Michelle, I'll get to your questions in a minute. I just didn't want to. You were trying to change the subject or something, I thought, and then I stopped reading after on another note. But I stopped reading after that because I'm talking about this because I am tired of the ignorance of people, and I'm tired of you guys of the world allowing movies to skew your view on what witches actually are. Okay, because even when people think that they're a witch, they always think, "Oh, I'm an evil witch. I'm evil. I'm evil." People don't understand that most witches are good people. There's a lot of witches in this world that you don't know about because they are not open about their spirituality, because they don't want to be judged. Okay. A witch within itself is a person that possesses supernatural powers. We all know that witches, aka women, possess supernatural powers. Women have had to go through struggle. And nowhere in this movie, when Will Smith was having this conversation with Martin Lawrence, is it acknowledged that You have to listen. You have to have done something to that witch to make her come after you. And please believe that in this movie, Will Smith needed a wake up call. Now, he didn't need to be shot. I mean, they blasted him in the chest in this movie. They like literally, it's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all got to see it. It's a good ass movie. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Harriet Tubman. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, the I believe Harriet Tubman, when I look at her face, she looks like a witch to me. Okay. Outer Banks witch, if you want to just block these trolls, you can. They sure do like us witches. They always over here lusting after us, ain't they? Okay. Oh, I already got them. I already got them. Just block them immediately. If you see them coming in here speaking about witches or speaking against witchcraft, it's a troll from that sector. It is. It's a troll. Just block them. By the way, guys, hit that thumbs up. So this movie came out last year. First of all, um, like I said, it's a great movie. You should definitely see it. But it was very, very theatrical and very, very. Whoever made that movie does not like witches. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember Harriet's name. That's so weird. Thank you, Jules. It's Harriet Tubman, the woman that I'm talking about that freed a bunch of slaves, led them to safety because they were being raped, killed, and pillaged by their masters who did not want to let them go. Okay. So, and so it was witchcraft that would have black people would still be in slavery if it were not for witchcraft and for ancient African voodoo practices, which back during those times, if you were, especially if you were black doing that, you were killed and hung immediately. And that was one of the reasons why, because to be honest with you, there was a lot of witches that were slaves, like that were black. They had brujeria. They had, well, bruja is a Spanish word, but they had witchcraft or voodoo or whatever in their blood because they came from Africa. Voodoo is associated with Africa, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? So, it just kind of, to me, and like I said, it was the way that they threw her into the fire. And I mean, not only threw her into the fire, but as she went into the fire, they made sure that they showed her body crash up against the airplane. Now we all know that there have been, and they call them feminists. There have been a lot of women out here that have been speaking out, for the rights of women, because every time you see us women depicted in movies, we're either being raped, flared around, flipped around, killed, murdered. To me, it seemed like whoever made that movie was very, very religious. Let me tell you, that's a huge problem because at the same time, it's very, very hypocritical. It's very, very hypocritical. Now, in my opinion, this witch did have the right to get revenge on Mike Lowry. I'm on the witch's side. She had the right to get revenge on Mike. You know why? Mike went into deep cover. He tells the story about how he met her. He goes into deep cover because he's working a case, and he ends up falling in love with this woman who's a witch. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but basically what he did to her was he probably lied to her. He made false promises to her, and then he put her in prison. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He put her in prison because she was a part of, the people that that he was investigating. So he made the mistake of putting this woman in prison. Okay. And she was, I think, they didn't really get into a lot of what this woman had did, but she was obviously this chick was, oh my God, goddess. If y'all see this movie is really good. She's what you consider a badass witch. Okay. I loved it. And I was on her side because Mike Lowry did her wrong. And see, we don't care. Here's the whole thing about it. To a witch and to her in her position, she didn't care about the fact that Mike Lowry was the police. She didn't care about that. She had fallen in love with him. He had threw her in jail. She went through a lot and she wanted revenge on him. Now, she was wrong as hell, like a lot of the stuff that she did. You know what I'm saying? I was on her side until the very end. But then when I saw the way that they killed her, it was just like, my goodness, the hatred and the visceral towards the witches is just ridiculous. But she did do something crazy at the end. But it like you just gotta see it. It's just really crazy. And but he betrayed her. So to her, he had deserved to get a lot of the stuff that he had gotten because of the way he had done her. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So to spirit sees things is different. And even though Mike Lowry did not die in that movie, and neither did another important figure in the movie did not die, and it ended up, because she did need to die, she was just way too evil. She was way too evil, and she was way too powerful, because they show her actually praying to Santa Moretta through the movie. They actually show her praying to her deity throughout the movie, and fucked up stuff happened to people. Okay. I think that one thing that I want to drive home to you guys is that, men start a lot of war with each other. They start a lot of war. Men have war going on between each other. They will shoot each other in the foot and next day be best friends. Women are living, or witches are living in that world, and witches mainly, we like to commune with nature, the forest and stuff. We have to adapt to living in this world that men have created. So at the end of the day, no matter what happened, I'm still on that woman's side. I am. I'm still on the witch's side. In that movie, I was very sad, the way that they just kind of, y'all should see it. It was crazy. And the reason why is because that witch is responding to living in a messed up world that men created. Y'all are witches too. Y'all are witches too. Men are witches too. You are. You create things. You facilitate things. You manifest things. And a lot of what y'all manifest is negativity for the woman. Period. When you stop, witches will stop. When you stop, witches will stop. The crazy part about it is that these men pack guns, shoot guns. This is a cop. This is a vigilante cop done killed a bunch of people. They were bad guys. Supposedly they were bad guys, but really they were okay. Let's say that they were the bad ones. Let's say that the only people that they have hurt in that movie was the bad guys. Who created the bad guys? Why are the bad guys there? Why is the bad there? Why is it there? So men create death every day, but yet Santa Muerta is a bad person. Like when you look at it, it's like, wait a minute, that's a deity that is like a very, very wonderful, beautiful deity. I love Santa Muerta. I sit here and sometimes I sometimes I meditate with her. She is a very, very powerful healer. Okay. She is very, very powerful in healing. And y'all create death and then you blame women for it. I'm a little confused. Y'all shoot people. Y'all are constantly doing things that can lead to people dying, but yet you blame the witches for the world that you created. I'm pretty sure that in the movie, the witch did not create the gang violence nor the Mexican cartel that Will Smith was fighting with. That witch didn't create that. Yeah, it does, Michelle. Hey, Kendra. Bad Boys for Life. I think it's supposed to be and I'm sorry, this Bad Boys for Life. What does that mean? Ignorance for life? But see, y'all, men don't think about that. They don't think about the women out there and the way that they are struggling. And see, I think the reason why that movie didn't really take off is because it came out during a time where you guys know that with the whole Trump administration, y'all know the whole thing where he had done all that, all of that where he was kicking people out of the country. And a lot of those little children, a lot of Mexican children, a lot of, Latino children came up missing during that time. Now, I don't know if people took them in. It could have been that people took them in. We're going to pray that it was that people took them in instead of just sending them off somewhere. God only knows what happens to them. But I think that that is just crazy, and I think that on the flip side, for you to just look at that movie and take away from it that witches are evil, I think that that would be very ignorant of you because men are evil. Men are evil. Witches would not have to be evil if men were not evil. If it look as a witch, I'm whoever you want me to be. I'm Glenda the good witch, or I'm an evil bitch. You disrespect me, take me for granted, try to debase me and do anything, I'm gonna come after you. So we respond to most of the time. Now, I will tell you, there's some evil witches that are just out there up to no good. They are just up to no good. They just, I feel like evil is a person that attacks children. That's disgusting. And you know what? In this movie, Martin Lawrence becomes a grandfather. So when you look at the movie, it's kind of like if you're very ignorant, you will take away from it like this message that witches are evil. But in reality, when you think about it, at the end of the movie, even after the witch was dead, these men were still doing evil. So men are evil, men do evil, and witchcraft and curses is very necessary. Okay. That's it. That just because I think that first of all, there's male and female witches out there. Yeah, well, it's not witches plural. There's one witch, and oh my God, Ebony Knowledge, she is in that movie kicking ass until the very end. She got like this witch is that's what you call a bad witch, okay? She was really, really evil. But in reality, so was Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry was extremely evil. And y'all wouldn't believe it's a couple of people in that movie that like died, like some unexpected deaths in that movie. So y'all should really go see it or either see it. It's actually on Stars right now. I just received an empath protection kit with candles, uncrossing herbs, black onyx, and obsidian. Cool. Well, that's cool. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to contact my supplier and see when they're gonna, because they've been a little behind. Yeah, society got worse when we were living under a matriarch. It was a lot more peaceful. When men took over, it became hell on earth. And that's why we are going through. Well, first of all, we've been in the age of Aquarius for quite some time. But, a lot of people are being resistant to this shift. And it's not about women taking over. It's not about women having men, under bondage or whatever. I think that a lot of women have men in sexual bondage. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because that's called protection. If we didn't have some kind of power over these men, we'd be in trouble. We would be in trouble because they would look at us as just the way that the Bible told them to look at us, which is sacrifices for you to kill, rape, murder, just do whatever you want to her. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, first of all, and the ignorance. See, I want you to research. He said something negative. Oh, she's into some dark shit. Santa Moretta. Santa Moretta is a goddess. She is a healer. She is a kind soul. So, it's crazy. Now, if there is a husband or a man about to kill a woman or doing something to harm her, yeah, we can call to our deities, and I guess they have a problem with that. Oh yeah, it's crazy, Kendra. In the movie, it's all this violence. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious the reason why Mike Lowry always finds all this violence and this drama is because he looks for it. Obviously, he's creating it. Like they're bringing up witchcraft, but Mike Lowry is actually creating a lot of the violence in that movie because he's attracting it. He loves it. He loves gunfights. He loves to shoot people. And it's like, okay, you're going to say that this witch is evil, but you're not. Make that make sense to me. I realize that he's a cop and he's out there fighting crime. But in reality, when you look at all of the bad boys for life, they're talking about what? Drugs. They're always doing some kind of drug bust or something. I guess they're like, what do they call that? DA agents or whatever. I guess it seemed like in every bad boys, it's always they're fighting with a drug dealer. So he's actually fighting with a drug cartel. But you know what? Sadly to say, the way that this world is set up is that the classism, poverty, all of that sort of sets us all up for being a society of people that have a drug problem. Either because you know what, even though we judge those people, we judge those, people that are like in the Mexican cartel, and these people are living all off somewhere in mansions, you know what I'm saying, by the seaside. They got millions of dollars. There's people out there that are very, very rich because they sell dope, but they would have nothing if it were not for that. And why would they have nothing? Because a lot of the wealth is not distributed correctly, and they try to act like, oh well, only certain people can have money. So on the flip side, guys, like I am very understanding and compassionate towards all sides. No, I don't advocate being a drug dealer. No, I don't advocate for like the drug war, or I think that we should, just be like, oh, well, those people. But at the end of the day, those people have to feed their family too. And feeding their family is going to require something, it's going to mean that, somebody's life is going to be ruined. Somebody is going to, probably have a lot of issues and create a lot of pain and suffering, as a result of this person. Hey, Yaya, as a result of this person that's selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it from the flip side, because like I said, I know I've been here before, and I've only been, I can only think of one time that I've been famous, besides the fact that I do believe that I was Queen of Sheba. Okay, that was many, many years ago. But one of my recent lifetimes, I was a bank robber. Okay. And back then, they didn't want to give women credit for nothing. So they were even debasing towards me in that lifetime. They didn't want to say that I had planned all of these robberies and stuff of these banks, and literally, yes, she did. Kate Barker planned it all. She was a mastermind. They have throughout the years, they said, oh, Kate Barker couldn't even plan breakfast, let alone a bank robbery. They just said little debasing things towards her, but she did do that. You know why she did that? Because she grew up poor. She was mentally ill, man. She was hungry and she got tired of being poor, like very poor. Like I'm talking about poor, poor, dirt poor. Okay. So do I think that Kate Barker was a bad person? I think that she did some bad things, but at her core, she was not a bad person. She was doing what she had to do during those times to survive. That was doing during the 20s, the 1920s. When times were really, really hard, there were no government programs to give out a free anything. You either had money or you didn't. You either had it or you had to go and work for somebody and get paid pennies back during that time. So she was a revolution, because now who is the enemy? The banks. The banks are an enemy to a lot of people. You know what is crazy? Because I always seem to have like bad luck when it comes to banks and stuff, y'all. And I always wondered where that came from. And then when I started realizing, spiritually, and started discovering my past lives, I was like, wow. So I've been clearing that up. Like any kind of negative karma you can clear up from your previous life using fire. But I do like the way they use the fire element in this movie, you know what I'm saying, to kill that evil, because fire does kill evil. But I also think that men, y'all need to do your research. Stop just going and going and going. Oh, we bad boys for life. But well, you know what? It kind of because I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't even really about the witches. It's about what spirit is doing. It's about what the spirit realm is doing right now. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah, they don't care who they kill, Ebony Knowledge. So I'm not saying that those people are good people at all. I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for them or anything, but I'm just saying that I understand. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand. That's just like when bad stuff happens, I understand it on a deeper level because I can see what's going on spiritually at that moment and what's going on in that person's mind and what's going on in their spirit. Like that's how I read the situation. You know what I'm saying? And so, in a very real situation, you can sometimes, it's a little confusing about who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. That's just like these days, when it comes to the police. Okay. A lot of times people have been trying to decipher if they are considered to be the good guys or the bad guys because, they've been doing some crazy stuff. So, I mean, at any moment, I just think that being right with spirit, let's just put it like that. I'm going to say just make sure that you right with your spirits. Is that fair? Okay. And then definitely don't be ignorant when it comes to deities. Please don't be ignorant when it comes to them because, I think that that movie probably got bad reviews because of the negative connotations towards Santa Muerta. I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of people that was pissed off about that movie. Because it okay, it would have pissed me off, but I understand the ignorance around witches. But the crazy part about it is that when you look at Hollywood, witches basically run Hollywood. When you think about it, in my opinion, if you are standing in somebody's business, that person is a witch. If you're standing in a grocery store, that person is a witch because they created a business and you are now coming there to buy. Okay. It's no different. In my opinion, it's no different. Okay. So the only difference is that witches like myself, we actually practice witchcraft for the public. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not about killing people. It's not about killing people. It really isn't. It's not about hurting people. It's not about that. It's not about just being evil. Okay, death within itself is pretty evil. It's pretty sad when people die. But people don't. You understand that there is a point where you got to have empathy towards witches. Because when I came out of the broom closet, everybody turned against me. Everybody, my own mama turned against me, and nobody realizes as they, judge Jamila that I lost my mother back in 2015. It was almost like she was dead because she turned against me. So I had to mourn. I've already lost my own mother, and nobody actually considered it during that time and had any empathy for me at all because I'm a witch. And even though I'm a healer, I'm an empath, I help people every single day. These people still live in their ignorance, thinking that they have the right to judge me. And just like a situation where because I've been, y'all know, I've been through a lot on YouTube or whatever. When I say your mama, yeah, if I'm talking about your mama, I'm in pain over my own mama. I lost my mama, but people don't seem to have any empathy for Jamila. Just got here, but the mother of the bad guy was a witch. You have a problem how that was portrayed? I have a problem in general with the way that they portray witches as being very scary and evil in movies. Yes, I do. But I have an issue with the way that they portray Ouija boards. Every movie that they make about Ouija board is scary. But then again, this is Hollywood and they're gonna like play movies that are gonna keep you interested in watching. But I think that Hollywood needs to start creating more movies about witches that are not evil. Okay. Every single movie that you see come out of Hollywood about a witch portrays her as being evil. Now, I understand that there are a lot of witches out there. They want people to be afraid of them. They do. They want people to be afraid of them. Um, and this is a defense mechanism. Because I think that there are some people that would love to just step on people and never have to think twice. But you gonna think twice when you're dealing with a witch. You gonna think twice. So that's why they don't, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was. So first of all, I just think that, like, just watch the movie because I didn't watch it when it first came out. So I think that probably maybe a lot of people missed it because who all in here, you said you just had deja vu? Probably. We've been having this conversation a lot. Sorry, I missed a lot as my dog had to go out. I'm also an empath. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that, but I think that, like, if you look at the movie, like at the end of the movie, Martin Lawrence, they come back for this little snippet at the end of the movie where Martin Lawrence is asking some other dude, he's like having like a debate with Mike Lowry, and he's saying to him, um, are you supposed to have sex with a witch without a condom at the end of the movie? And it's supposed to be like a little joke because it's something else in the movie that I'm not gonna tell y'all because it's actually like a surprise. I actually suspected it though at the beginning of the movie. I was like, something is up with him. Something is up with this because it's a woman that's trying to get revenge on Mike Lowry clearly this is a woman that evidently this dude had hurt. And it was because she was in love with him. He threw her in prison and just kind of forgot about her, because y'all know Mike Lowry is a player. Okay, he's a player from the Himalayas. Okay. Yeah, he's like player, right? And so he just throws this woman in jail. He's basically working undercover. And he ends up falling in love with her, having sex with her, and he ends up busting her anyway. And so she's pissed at him because she's like, didn't you didn't you promise that you love me? You know what I'm saying? So she came back and she really did get his butt. So Mike Lowry, you know how they say every dog has its day. He had his day, okay? And he was trying to be all like a hard ass or whatever. But it really is a good movie. I think that if they would have showed less hatred towards witches, I probably would have, been subject to shed a couple of tears. It was very touching, actually. But yeah. So, but Jules Griffith is correct. At a time where I had to be strong, nobody was considering the fact that I literally lost my whole family, but I gained myself. So as a witch, I would never make any other decision ever. I would never do it. And I don't regret 1 second of it, even the bad, because I learned something from the bad. Okay, that's what a witch does. A witch learns from the bad things that happens and she doesn't let it destroy her. But yeah, just in case people wanted to know more on a personal note, I became a little bitter, and you know what I'm saying, for a minute there, because I wanted my mom to stick by me, you know what I'm saying, because she had basically groomed me to be a witch. I mean, she had me dancing in her dance troupe to Devil's Daughter. Like, come on now. And then it was like, as soon as I moved away, because I had to get away, I had to clear my head. It was like my mother changed. It was like a totally different person. And so, right before I left, I was still involved with it. So a lot of people think, like, for example, you know what I'm saying? They feel, oh, well, you don't care about, you know what I'm saying? You said this or you said that, but karma is like that. Karma speaks through spirit. It does. Karma comes out in the words that we say to each other. So, for example, for years and years, it was like a mass witch hunt against me, and my mother had turned against me. And that can be very traumatizing for anybody at any age. And nobody cared because I'm a witch. Nobody cared about what I was actually going through throughout those years and why it took me so long to get up on my feet, because it was just like, dealing with, non-support from people that are supposed to love you. That was difficult. You know what I'm saying? So really, to be honest with you, sympathy, I'm an empath. I can understand very deeply, but to sympathize with some people, and if I've said, and that's why I don't really, that's why some stuff I don't apologize for. I just do it because I want to make amends with people. But some stuff, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you didn't give a damn about me when I was going through what I was going through. In fact, you was trying to make it worse on me. So much worse. And I went for years and years and years. But it's okay, guys. I'm good. Would I repair the relationship with my mother at some point if other stuff were to happen? I'm not gonna say what. I would be willing to repair my relationship with my mother if something else were to happen. But we're not gonna mention. So something else would have to happen, full throttle, for me to reap a couple of things. But the main thing at the top of the list, I'm not gonna say what would need to happen. But at that point, I would repair the relationship with my mother. Yes. One of those things is that these people need to quit talking about me in social media and bringing up my name every 5 minutes. whenever they want to describe, whatever. For example, I listened to a video this morning where there was a woman saying that I slept with a married man. I ain't never slept. Haven't slept with a married man. Not recently. I ain't slept with no married men. So why would she say that? People just think they can just say whatever they want to say about me. So when a lot of that clear up, and like when some other stuff happen, is one thing at the top of the list that needs to happen, and then it's another thing that needs to happen, and then it's a few more things that need to happen, and then I would work on repairing my relationship with my mother. Otherwise, I've already mourned her, and I told a lot of people that they need to mourn their parents. You do. You need to be strong. I had to be strong, because some people, when their parents die, they fall apart, and you can't do that. That ain't what your parent want. Your parent don't want you to fall apart when they die. So at that time, when literally, like, metaphorically, I had lost my mother, she's still alive, but it was just like they were dead. I felt like sometimes I was dead. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. And a lot of these deities, Santa Moretta is one of them that helped me heal from that situation, because that was really hard. And a person can't be but who they are. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, your lucky number is 13, Michelle. Did you make a wish? So why do you think you chose your mother to enter this lifetime? Oh, I didn't really choose her. I think, you know what? It probably has something to do with the bloodline. It's that Briscoe blood. Number one. Number two, me and my mother were sisters in the previous life. That's why there's always like this competitiveness between the two of us. So we were actually sisters in a previous life. So that could be why I chose her. But I never even really thought about it until like the past few years. You know what I'm saying? So just to remind y'all, witches are not like, we have feelings. We go through just as much pain as the next person. I know that for me, I don't cry often, but when I do cry, like I cry loud. You know what I'm saying? Like I am very, very, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just know that I have feelings and emotions, and I would never want to change the person that I am, but people will treat you like crap, and that's why I'm very, very partial to witches and understanding to what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, unapologetic Ellie. It can be lonely, but I've had, like, y'all know that I got a surrogate mom over here in Georgia. You know what? And I call her whenever I need her, which ain't too often. But she's such a sweet lady. And it's crazy because the lady that I call my mother, she had a baby the same year that I was born, but the baby passed away. She had a stillborn baby the year that I was born. So it's so weird, how I feel that connection with her. And yeah, so yeah. So anyway, y'all see the movie though. I like the movie personally. You know what I'm saying? It was such a good movie, but that was just the only thing, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, y'all need to realize that y'all can trust most witches more than y'all can trust the church. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not, because I said I was going to stop speaking out about the church in general. But what I will say is that, to me, it just seems like the church doesn't want any of us to get along. Okay. They seem like they just want to create chaos, which the whole Bible was centered around the sun. The whole Bible, the sun, the actual sun that is up in the sky. The whole Bible was written around the sun, which the sun was created by Ra, who is a deity who created himself out of primordial chaos. So, you know, it was because at the end of the day, my mom is a narc. She hanging around all her little narky friends, just as happy as ever. So I let her do her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she did discard me. She did. And before I even knew it, I didn't even realize it, because my mama can be very sneaky. I don't know what her weird. It was so weird. She had done nothing but encourage me to be a witch. And then when I when I came out, it was like, oh Lord, let me grab my Bible. I'm scared. My whole family was acting scared of me though. It was so weird. And I didn't want to do nothing but hang out with family. And they were just like, are you gonna put a hoax on me? Well, first of all, witches don't do hoaxes. My little cousin was like, are you gonna put a hoax on us? I was like, no, why would I do that to my own family? People really be acting paranoid though about witches. But yeah, I think that people should educate them. Somebody that's watching that movie that doesn't know who Santa Martha is. And I feel like the makers of that movie need to apologize to her and her devotees. I can imagine that it's probably groups and threads out there where people have been talking about that movie. And they probably can't stand Will Smith and Martin Lawrence for, being a part of, because that Santa Marta has like millions of followers. She has a lot of devotees. Okay. She has a lot of devotees. So, hold on, y'all. 4, 5. Okay. Sorry, I'm measuring out my coffee. So a lot of people could say, well, Santa Moreta, she ain't doing nothing for Mexico or whatever, or for, whatever. Well, we could say the same thing about other people's religions. They don't seem to be doing any good. We seem to still be living in a very violent world. And I'm a witch that doesn't really enjoy violence, but I do like to watch it on TV. I will tell you that I do like to. And so it is a good movie as far as like the fight sequences and the gun scenes are really, really good. So yeah, y'all should check it out. But just be careful, when you're looking at that movie and you judging witches, because we're not all bad people. So you're not a big fan of it. I'm okay. Now, what I will tell you is that this is the best one out of all three of the movies. They've got part 1, part 2, and this one was supposed to be the last one that they were supposed to be doing. It was the best one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like the first two, of course, they all were good. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Will Smith and you got Martin Lawrence. Of course, they were all good movies. But this one was extra special because they had the witch in it. So don't forget about that, okay? Yeah, any movie that I'm talking about, like for this long, like for almost an hour, yeah, it's definitely a good movie. So anyway, I hope y'all have a happy Maybon and everything. And thank you so much for you guys' energy and your input on this. At the end of the day, shout out to the witches. You always have a safe, non-judgmental place, especially if you have spiritual gifts. There are a lot of people with some pretty powerful spiritual gifts, and I think that I guess these spiritual gifts could hurt people. Some of them, yeah, it could really, really hurt people. But really, I think that if it's hurting people in the heart chakra, then maybe them people need to open up their heart for real. You know what I'm saying? But there's some people that got, oh my God, I have seen people with a lot of different special powers and stuff. It's so weird how I run into people that have special powers. And this is no cap, like it's so bizarre, but If you have, spiritual gifts or whatever, because I talk to people all the time that have spiritual gifts. I talk to people where, I can sense your ancestors. I mean, the energy just kind of slaps me in the face sometimes when it comes to it. But, it's something that I'm prepared for. You know what I'm saying? I love what I do and I love helping people. I'm definitely, now people think that I'm just about helping women and children. No, I help everybody. Like, I don't discriminate against nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a man hater. I love men. I just think that when it comes to men and this world, I do have a strong opinion about it, just like most witches do. I don't think that we're saying anything wrong. I just think that, whenever you're dealing with a man, he thinks that what he says is gold and that's it. And I just, yeah. So I don't agree with that. I think that men need to change a lot about the way that they do things, and then women would get better. They want to wonder why all these crazy women are running around here in the world. Well, I truly believe in that. I do. I do think that there are some women that are just born with hell in their spirit. Okay, I do believe in that. But the most of the women that I've seen that we call quote unquote crazy, how you think they got there by a man? But I don't agree with letting them drive you crazy like that either. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. This one, it was all about revenge, and see, that be spirit doing that. I swear, sometimes spirit will do that. So sometimes you just gotta drop. Like for me personally, if I had an ancestor that was just making me like let's say that I had a witchy ancestor that was just causing me to just go after people and just attack them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I am gonna want to take account into what I am doing before I make that action against that person. And see, you don't have to succumb to any spirit. A spirit can come to you and say, hey, you need to do this, but you can fight it because you need to think about logically what can happen to me. And with some people, spirit just takes over. Okay. hmm Not with this one, Jerry. For this one was good. It actually captured my attention too. And there's another movie that I want to see with Will Smith called The Gemini Man. So I think I'm gonna see that one too, because I've been a fan of Will Smith for quite some time. I don't really feel comfortable with him being in witch hating movies or whatever, you know. But it is what it is. It's all good. I still got love. Yeah. Y'all have a wonderful day though. Have a happy Maybon. And I will see y'all later. Go see that movie though. It's worth it. I just wanted to kind of pre-warn you that it just is kind of mean towards witches. And then Santa Moretta, she's a very good deity. In fact, 9 times out of 10, if you saw that movie, she's probably calling to you. If you saw that movie, she might be calling to you because for some reason they used her name in that movie. Maybe so, Ebony. But it's not like she's calling you to kill you. Like, people are so afraid of death, and I get it. I get it. Don't nobody want to die, but so y'all have a good one. Okay. Thank you for coming. Love and light.